I should turn it down.
Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a Q&A at the CDA here around showreels. So I'm just going to get everyone to introduce themselves. Anna, why don't we start with you? We've got Anna Kennedy from Anna Kennedy Casting.
Hi, I'm Anna. I cast for commercials, TV, film, a little bit of stills, but sort of, yeah, pretty varied.
Right,
That's
and
me.
where are you based?
London.
Fab. And then we've got Ali Fearnley from Ali Fearnley Casting.
Hi, yeah, so I cast almost exclusively commercials and stills as well.
Fab, and
I'm based out. I'm based outside of London.
Fab.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, which has been a sweet relief over the last 3 months. I think.
Bit of greenery.
Yeah.
I'm Rosie, I'm from Pearson Casting. We work predominantly in theatre, but we also cast some commercials, mostly children in commercials, and we've just finished casting on our first feature film, which is very exciting. And we are based just outside of Brighton, but we also have an office in Liverpool, so we're based across both London and Liverpool. Fabulous. So first question in, so these were kind of gathered through Twitter, I think, people asking questions. What are you looking for when you watch a showreel, Anna?
I think to a certain extent less is more. I'd rather see some really good, strong clips than lots of tiny little moments, and more that they are themselves rather than sort of like playing an old person, or something is too far away from actually who they actually are. I don't really like the whole sort of montage music thing at the beginning. Some people do that. I just rather just get straight into it. So yeah, that's kind of what I look for.
Ali, anything?
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with Anna that less is more. We don't have a lot of time, unfortunately, to view showreels all the time. So, I want you to come in with your best scene first, and I want to see kind of how you act and how you can create character, and I want to see what you look like and a true representation of you now. I want it to be relevant and representative and to the point. It's like a book, right? If you open the first page, you want to be caught in it. So yeah, just leave me wanting more.
Yes, be totally drawn in from the inside.
I think I've watched a lot of showreels recently as well, where people don't necessarily, they are not the first person that you see in that showreel because of the way the scene's edited. And you look at someone and you think, wait a second, that's not the headshot I just looked at. And how important it is that the first image we have is of you as an actor and seeing you act, not another actor. We say, don't make yourself not the star of a good showreel. Yes, don't make yourself.
It's your showreel.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so what doesn't work in a showreel? Ali, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I made a little list.
Oh, good.
It might be personal taste, but, and please ladies, let me know what you think. But I find it very frustrating when there's a opening screen with your name. I mean, obviously we need your name and your age and your contact, but not for 20 seconds, not for 30 seconds. Absolutely with Anna on the montage thing. This is an actor's showreel. This is your showreel. It's not the editor's showreel. I don't want to see what he's able to do. And you running across a field to some music or just all your shot. I don't need to see that. Stills. Some actors put stills on their casting on their showreel, and I just don't see the point of that either. Oh, again, editor, but special effects. I don't need any like fading in, fading out, wibbly wobbly kind of. I mean, it's all personal taste, but I just want to see you and how you are. And I think any scenes that are no longer relevant. So if you shot something when you were 13 years old, and there's no point in putting it on now. I can see it on your CV. I think most of us look at showreels that are on Spotlight, so we see your CV as well. I don't see any point in that really. And again, any footage that you're not actually in. So if you're in a scene and you're in really great in the first bit and the last bit, get your editor to like wipe out the whole middle bit where you're not actually in it, or I can't see you, or it's the back of your head, or yeah, you're not doing anything. And this is what you were saying as well, Rosie, any footage where it's not really clear who you are. I think sort of like you said in that opening scene, if you're playing against someone that's very similar to you and I've not met you before, then I might spend sort of a 30 seconds kind of trying to work out actually who you are. So if you've got a strong scene that is played against someone of an opposite gender or someone who's quite different looking to you, that's quite helpful as well, I think. And then I think we might cover this later, but just scenes that you feel that you've got to put in just because it's got, I don't know, Olivia Colman in it, and you're in the background doing nothing. Again, I can see that you've done that on your CV, but unless it's relevant and it shows off your acting ability, then yeah. It's tough for an actor, right? You have to be really hard on editing it down.
Yes, to be hard on yourself, on saying what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, definitely.
That kind of ties in a little bit with the next question was, how long should a show reel be? Can it be too short, and is it okay just to have one clip? If it is one scene, it's a scene, it's not a show reel, right? So if it, again, if it is one scene, it doesn't need to be 6 minutes long for us to show, we want to see you at your best. So for us, it's better just to literally have a 30 to 45 second clip of seeing you act, seeing what you look like, seeing that you're natural on camera, that it's a role that suits you, for example, than to have lots and lots and lots of footage. Just kind of tagging on a little bit of a dance and vocal element, as a lot of people now have vocal reels and dance reels if they work in musical theatre, which is absolutely brilliant. Don't have anything that's more than 3 minutes long for a dance reel, or we don't have time. Exactly as Ali said, unfortunately, we deal in huge volumes of submissions, so we want to get to you as quickly as possible. If you can time code for us, that's amazing, and say at this point you'll hear this genre of musical theatre or this artist or this pop song, whatever it is. Too long definitely is an issue. We're just not going to sit through an 8-minute reel, whether it's acting, whether it's vocal or dance. So if you can time code, then you're signposting to us exactly where to go. And we always say to people, make it easy for us to get to the bits that you want us to see very quickly. If you don't say anything about the show reel and it's 6 minutes long, you risk somebody not watching the bits that you need to see within that. What do you guys think?
I think definitely. Yeah, you go ahead, Ali.
I totally agree. I mean, I think, Rosie, would you say that if you had a dance reel and an acting reel, would you, I would quite like them separated.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think there's a question a bit later on actually about having other skills. But yeah, absolutely. I don't want a scene work at the beginning for 2 minutes and then you singing and then dancing and then another scene at the end of it. That just becomes
do separate clips.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
that's helpful.
But ideally, I think I'd like a show reel to be sort of 2 to 3 minutes long and relevant. But if you've only got one really great scene, I know you said it's a show reel, but if you've got one thing that is really great and everything else is just a bit, and just put that one great thing on, and like I said, just leave me wanting more, just intrigue me.
Yeah,
I'll look at that. And I think quite often it sounds an awful thing to say, but if I'm down to 6 actors and I've got 3 spaces to fill, and I'm looking for a reason not to bring you in sometimes, So like if you show me something good, then I'll go, right, okay, if it's good followed by 2, I'll probably go, no, stick with the,
Yes, and put your most recent one first. That's key. That's what I always find. Sometimes, I'm looking at shows and this is 1990, in the bill or something, and it's like, it's just not relevant to today. So yes, put the one that you are, most recent work first, I would say.
So Anna, what do you think about including scenes that have been specifically recorded for a show reel?
Yeah, I think that's great, because a lot of people might not have, actual film or TV theatre material. So if they want to pick some monologues and tape it, I think that's cool. I think it all works. And just make sure your background is, simple. And I think it's a good idea to do that, to do scenes.
Yeah, I'd agree, definitely.
And there's loads of, actually, I tell you, Manuel Puro has put up loads of links to, and I can also put them up as well, but to, scripts and screenplays, so people can then take sides from there and then take them.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. And so is it a good idea, someone's asked, to include any special skills or other languages in my reel? Does it make sense to have them separately? I actually watched someone's acting reel the other day, and they had cut in scenes from British and also from German productions, which was amazing. They speak fluent German and fluent English, but I really wanted them separated so that I don't speak German.
Yeah.
And whilst I could tell that he was doing really well in those scenes, and they were great, they were well shot, well edited, it was well put together, I wanted that separation. The same way, if I was casting something where I needed a fluent German speaker, I only want to access that information. The same way, if you have a dance reel and you do aerial, do it in a separate link.
Yeah.
And just really, again, it's about, for us, it's about signposting and saying, this is where you can access this skill and this experience, and not just lumping everything in one go. Ali, do you agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you know, if you're a very accomplished horseman, if you can do body combat, if you've got you know, stunt skills, absolutely put it in there, but put it in a separate reel so that we can go to that, because we're going to be like you said, Rosie, we're going to be looking for, if I'm looking for a German speaker, if I'm looking for someone that can do stunt work, then I'll look at that reel. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to be relevant. You've got to keep it signposted, as you say, and relevant to what we're looking at, because we don't have a lot of time. You need to make it as easy for us as possible. Yeah.
And you know, if you are using Spotlight, that's a great platform for that. You know, it's something you pay for, so utilize the fact that you can upload several reels. You know, use that. That's what we have been saying. So, Ali, just moving on from what Anna said earlier, if I have been in a well-known TV series or in a scene with a famous actor but I only have one line or no lines, should I include it?
It's really tempting to include it, isn't it? It's so tempting. But, you know, I think it's going back to keeping it relevant and representative. If you're really, that's a really strong scene for you, even if you've only got one line or you've got a reaction, then put it in. But if you're just putting it in because you're playing against, like I said, Olivia Colman, or you know, if that's the reason you're putting it in, then I think not. I think, you know, you've just got to keep your strongest performances in there. Like I said, we can
Or put it in at the end.
Yeah, put it in at the end. Yeah.
Something like that, because you know, it's a big moment if you act with Brad Pitt or something, and maybe you just say thank you, but it, you know, that thank you might mean something. Then just put it in, but don't put it at the front.
Okay, yeah.
And so, should you include a range of accents, Anna, on your show reel, or are they better showcased on a voice reel?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that because recently we did a job and we were specifically looking for Geordies. And when I looked at, you know, you go online, you see our Geordie accent, but then there were no clips of them doing the Geordie accent, either in voice or visually. So I thought to myself, actually, these Geordie actors should do a voice clip as well. Because then it's really helpful, and then I can tell that they are actually from Newcastle or Sunderland, you know. So if they've got a clip in their own accent, put it in a separate thing. That's what I would say.
And would you prefer that as an audio or a visual?
If they've got it in visual, brilliant. If not, audio.
Great. Is it true that casting directors will only watch the beginning of a show reel? Well, sometimes we literally can watch 30 seconds and know that you're the person that we want to bring in the room. Sometimes that show reel is so strong at the beginning and we go, oh my gosh, this person looks like they're headshot. They've shown the range of skills that we need for this. This is exactly what the director described to me. Generally, I will then go through some more of the reel and just double check there's nothing horrifying happening towards the end of it. But sometimes you literally are ticking all of the boxes for us, and sometimes equally on the other side of it, you know, actually your headshots now I can see is 10 years old, you don't fit that casting brief. But on the whole, we do try and watch as much of every reel as possible if they're within a reasonable time length, and again that they are clearly, you know, labelled and signposted to us where to go for all of the information. When I had a show reel as an actor, I did analytics on it, and I could see, I had it unlisted on YouTube, and I sent it off a lot, and I think 35 seconds was the average watch time of it. So from that perspective, yes, I would say probably people are making decisions quite quickly, but certainly now that I work in casting, I will watch as much of a reel as I have time to watch, because it gives you an idea of everything else that actor has to offer. What do you think, Anna?
Yeah, I think the same. I mean, we cast quite a lot of comedy. And so what I've noticed recently, which is really good, there's people that have done the sort of the straight takes, and then they've done a whole new section for their comedy. So people that you think, because obviously there's the comedy people that you know, but it's nice to see new talent coming through that is unexpected. So they do a little comedy clip, which I wouldn't have probably watched to the end of their show reel, if you see what I mean, because I was thinking them they were too straight. But then I see that comedy clip and think, oh, all right, they can do both. Brilliant. So, yeah, I watch as much as I can, really. If it draws me in, then I'll definitely watch to the end.
Yeah.
If it is a bit like that montage at the beginning, I'm like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a montage at the beginning, I tend to sort of just fast forward.
Yeah.
And then I might miss your best scene because I've gone too far forward to start with. But I generally do, I'll stick to the end unless, as you said, Rosie, I look at it and you know, you don't look like your headshots anymore. And I look at, you know, I'm casting commercials and looks are obviously very relevant.
Yes.
As well as skills. So if you're not going to fit, unfortunately, then I may not get to the end of it. But generally, I will try and watch everything.
Yeah.
Unless it's 8 minutes long.
Well, that is the thing. If it's 8 minutes long, then exactly as you say, just kind of skipping through. No, and I might skip and then miss all the really great that you wanted us to watch. And finally, Annie, do I need to have a show reel?
I think you really do these days. I think you really do. And as Anna was saying, you know, I think it's entirely acceptable, even if you don't have any good film or TV footage, to shoot something. Do a monologue. I mean, I think, Rosie, have you been watching I think you've been watching the BAME monologues.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, some of those are absolutely
amazing.
Fantastic. And if I were to see some of those on a showreel and that's all you had, then I would be happy to bring you in on that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we just want to see your acting prowess. You know, it doesn't matter about, to a certain extent, what the material is, as long as it's good. What you're portraying, that's the key. That's what I'm looking for.
Definitely. I mean, it's always better to see you than to not, because, you know, if you're limited on audition spaces, then at least you have a sense of what that actor looks and sounds like and what they look like on screen. And so just as two casting directors who work so much in commercials, what are your feelings on having a separate commercial reel and then a drama reel, or are you happy to have that all in one? So people who've worked extensively in commercials, I'm seeing them kind of a 3-minute show reel of all of the commercial work they've done separate to let's say a drama show reel.
I quite like them separated out, actually. I find that quite helpful. I mean, I would watch both of them, but yeah, I quite like it. Anna?
Yeah, same. Yeah, great if you can do the 2 reels. Sometimes it can go against you if you've done lots of commercials, though. That's the other thing. It's kind of like you just go, oh, they've done so many commercials that I'm not going to sort of I'll probably discount them to a certain extent because I don't want to see their face on the TV so much in commercials. And clients don't want to be using the same person for, the same a different campaign, but they're being overused. So it works both ways, I guess.
Great. Any final thoughts on show reels? Anything you love to see or don't love to see? Any advice for people putting together their first show reel?
I would use this opportunity, this time to do a show reel, and there are loads of key tips and things online to help you do the lighting. Keep it simple, keep your background, simple, light it, and just do a short piece, and make sure you've learnt it. That you're not looking down when you're doing your, self-tape. But yeah, that's what I would be doing at this time to refine it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of time on our hands, and you use the time, use it wisely, and I think again there's lots of resources to look at, and be tough, because obviously you want to. It's human that you would want to include everything, but do think about the fact of what one, that we want to be signposted, but that we don't have a lot of time. Your best scene should definitely be first, and just leave us wanting more. Leave us intrigued. so that we
Exactly.
want to get you in and see, you know, and meet you.
And there is, I think, an understanding at the moment that we are limited on resources. People don't have access necessarily to studios or to high-tech equipment, sound recording equipment, etc. So as long as the visual quality and the sound quality is good enough to see and hear you, that we're always happy to take what we call lockdown show reels. If you are filming and creating content at home, you know, we understand that for the last 3 months and maybe ongoing for a bit longer, that we have limited resources. As long as we can still see and hear you, and the overall quality of it is of a good standard. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I'd also put in things like your height at the moment, you know, because we can't sort of tell how tall you are. So it'd be quite good when you're doing your slate just to definitely mention your height.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Ali Fearnley, Anna Kennedy and Rosie Pearson talking all things show reels. Thank you so much for getting involved.
Thank you.